I will ask a question. Imagine you are heading an organization or even a large team. What is your biggest fear? One of them is, what if my best person leaves? And not only that, there is another fear. There is a person whom you know is not performing and maybe needs to be replaced. Yet you are afraid that that old person, if that person leaves, some things can go wrong because he is the one who knows how to fix things. So there are two sorts of people: replaceable and the dangerous ones, whom we have not planned for replacement. Replacement is not important. An organization grows when you work on systems and work on people growth. Leaders who develop leaders. Leaders who create systems and create people who work on systems and development of leaders. I will explain this. Recently, we went for a training on a very senior level of leadership for Toastmasters. There were 40 people drawn from all across India and Nepal. The person on the podium asked us the same question. Who is your number two? The room went silent. Each of the persons had been screened, nominated based on whatever their credentials were. Each of them was good in their area. And we had got only 1 year tenure for performing on the job, so that in the areas or divisions assigned, we can help the clubs grow and the people in them. Too short a tenure. Some people said, oh, I never gave it a thought. Some said, honestly, the kind of thing which I am doing, nobody else can do. One of them jokingly said, I thought some seniors will do it. What was missing was something very serious. When we are in our organizations, we are always thinking about growth. We are always talking about a mentoring culture. Is this new? This succession planning, is this new? No, it's not a modern concept. I think from the days of Ramayana, I have been hearing that the kings would prepare and select who could be their best successor. And those people would be groomed. Same thing is done now, but we forget. In the daily day of things, we forget. So this was not a question for Toastmasters. This Toastmasters is there for leadership grooming. So they were being posed a question. Because this applies not only in our area where we are working in a voluntary organization, it applies all areas of life. The teams we are working in, the organizations we are working, even in our families. Think. I'll give you an example. In my career, about 16 years have been spent in consulting, in leading business turnaround, 16 years in industry, and largely in one or two companies where we went up from 300 crores to 6,500 crores in 11 years. In another one, where we went from 1,500 crores to 6,500 crores in 3 years. I'll share these two. I did a turnaround in an automotive component company. It was in losses for about 8 years. When it turned around, the turnaround is what? We go from losses to a leadership position. It is not cost reduction, because that is always a sensitive position. When we are taking a company from losses to leadership, our focus is on identifying the right initiatives, working on strategy, and the most important, developing people. Having done the turnaround successfully, 3 years later, I got an offer to join the organization because they had grown and they wanted me to work with them. It was a tempting offer because I had always been in consulting. I thought, let me see what is on the other side. And then things were very different. What was the difference? When I joined, I said, okay, there might be 2-3 more plants which you want me to turn around. from loss to leadership. So no. Whatever you did there, we want it to be applied across the group. That time there were 25 units, we went up to 70. Said okay. And then something very interesting happened. I went to my mentor for his inputs. He says, Atul, remember one rule. 3 years is the upper limit. Whatever job you are doing in 3 years' time, ensure that you have handed over to a capable person and you are ready to move on to the next level. With a challenging role which I had and this tip in my mind, I started to work. The first 3 years were largely on manufacturing excellence on the shop floor. Because to be a leader in the industry, we had to be favorite of the customers. For that, we needed to work on our systems and skills with people and the systems both. And in 3 years, lots of things changed. Several of the companies became the best suppliers of their customers. And then things changed. The MD said, whatever has been happening here, I want this to happen across all systems across the organization, not just manufacturing. So then I shifted over to head business excellence, redefined and standardized systems across the organization, all the 5 different SBUs. And while we were doing that, we realized the importance of ERP, and then we also deployed SAP across the group. In another 3 years, while we were stabilizing, I got an award, industry level, for manufacturing excellence, being the best CIO for business analytics, and 2 more. The important was that after these 3 years were over, I was again switched to another role, this time to a Japanese joint venture which was in losses. In all the different 3 year, it was always a stepping stone. When I look back into my consulting arena, each turnaround, here the speed is even faster because the companies are bleeding. We have to really work on systems and capable people. People capability. What I realized across these 16 years of consulting, 16 years of industry experience, do not focus on positions, focus on people. Am I right? No. Focus on people, not positions. Develop capability. That has to be the focus. Think. Develop capability and systems. Focus. Because the organizations will grow with this. When your leaders develop even more leaders. Third, capable organizations with capable people develop continuity. They are not static where they were. The systems are evolving, the people are evolving, and the organization is evolving. Then the organization grows. Are you growing? Is this a very modern concept? Maybe. But I remember from the days of Ramayana, I remember the kings were always bothered about who their number 2 would be, and the complete mentoring support was given to that one person. It has been there across ages. What experience I shared with you was when I was in charge, given the onus of developing people, and also while I was growing, I also saw how so many resources were put in for my growth. That is how the organization of 300 crore went up to 6,500 crores in 11 years. And not only like that, now, 8 years later, it is 22,000 crores. Because culture focused on people. Culture focused on systems-enabled organization and people growing. So please think. Succession planning is not a buzzword. It has to be inside and active all the time. Whichever meeting you go to, whether it is your Toastmasters or any club or anywhere, if somebody says who is your number two, don't get jostled with that idea. Always be ready for that. Are you ready? Think. Every position, every senior leadership position down the line, define the number two. Support them, engage with them, ask them to engage with others, and see countless stories of success coming in. I have seen mine. I'm still working on many. All the best.